was a biker and he drove his motorcycle very fast. Drove a big chop Harley with a gang color jacket and ran down citizens for laughs. He had an old lady named Petula who packed an automatic 45 gun. They had just come up from California where they'd shot 6 cops for fun. Jake, he thought it was the best there was, as down the interstate he saw, till the day he tangled with the county sheriff, who they all called 104. It was late on a Thursday evening, and Jake, he was feeling kind of mean, cause he'd just run out of his favorite drug, you know, the one called amphetamine. So he sauntered up to Petula, and he said, say, baby, let's split. There's a little gas station on down the road that might be fun to hit. So they drove up to the station, and they both jumped off of Jake's ride. They were up to derision at Jake's decision as they both sauntered to the inside. The attendant, he was an old man, and you know he didn't think it very funny. When Petula pulled out that great big gun, said, honey, give me all your money. Well, the old man opened up the cash drawer, and Jake grabbed the money and ran. With Petula out the door to the big chop Harley that was parked on the center kickstand. Then they headed out for the 4-lane, and they thought it was lots of fun. With Jake on his hog, with Petula the dog, with the automatic 45 gun. He thought it was the best there was, as down the interstate he saw, till the day he tangled with the county sheriff, who they all called 104. Didn't think it very humorous, and you know he didn't like to get sassed, cause just that morning he'd had a cup of coffee with a cop named Pendergrast. But the old man had a lot of sense, and he knew just exactly what to do. He dropped a dime in the phone till he got the dial tone, and he talked to operator 42. Operator 42, she was the best, and she gave out the description of Jake the maggot with the gang color jacket and Petula with the 45 gun. Now it just so happens that Jake, he was headed for 522, where 104 was popped in the shade, thinking, baby, I'm waiting for you. Jake laughed and thought he had it made, but you should have seen the look in his eyes. When outside Monroe on 522, you know he got one hell of a surprise. Cause up ahead on the roadway, with a shotgun looking down the ball,
you can advertise your business on Night Dreams Talk Radio, and you will be heard worldwide. Why not contact us at nightdreamstalkradio@gmail.com. Night Dreams Talk Radio Network brings you the World Paranormal News with James Creechbaum. Now, the latest news.
I'm James Creechbaum with the Paranormal and World Changes News. Well, Bigfoot dominated top stories for cryptozoology in 2019, and at the very top of the heap was the story of the 3-year-old boy who disappeared in North Carolina, and search parties located the boy 2 days later, and he told the family he hung out with a bear. Speculation fills in the rest on that story. Also, there was a UFO sighting that was recorded on New Year's Eve in Dubai, city of the United Arab Emirates, and it happened just after midnight. And there's still more coming in about that one. Also, 3 12-year-old boys were caught deliberately setting fires in Australia. Now, in what has been called the most challenging brush fire season ever, a shocking 5 million acres of Australia's land has been ravaged by more than 7,000 fires since July. Also, the largest example of the world's largest flower has been found. Conservationists in Indonesia have identified what is thought to be the single largest flower ever recorded. Paranormal phenomena and military applications. Throughout the years, it's always been assumed about this, but DARPA, it makes for notable reading. It should be noted that over the years and decades, U.S. military and intelligence agencies have tried to use dogs to psychically locate landmines on battlefields, studied out-of-body phenomena, attempted to determine if both animals and people have souls, and studied the possibility of that psychic phenomena can cause heart attacks. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. We will see what else they may come forward with. What the UK government thinks of alien big cats. Well, the government said it is impossible to say categorically that no big cats are living wild in Britain. So it is only right and proper that the ministry should continue to investigate serious claims of their existence, but only when there is a threat to livestock and when there is a clear evidence that can be validated. That is what they are saying about that. Also, conspiracy and deception with false memories with abductions. With the real reports mixed in with fiction books over the years, has it planted false memories in a vicarious circle that blurs the truth with fiction and many people's reports. Next news break tomorrow night.
Night Dreams Talk Radio, After Dark, wants to give a big shout out to all the truckers that listen to our show. You are listening to Night Dreams Talk Radio Network, from our compound to you worldwide, with your host, Gary Anderson.
And that is me. Our guest tonight is one and only Ron Fitzgerald, actor, Gothic magician, an all-around great guy. Anyway, coffin in your apartment. Girlfriend.
Yes.
What happened?
Yes. Well, this is back in the late 80s. I was working in theme parks, amusement parks at that point in my career, and was in New York. We were in upstate New York at a park up there, and my girlfriend, who also worked with me in the show, we went out from Chicago, went out there for the summer, and I was brought in by a company, and it was Osborne Illusion Systems, Paul Osborne, who worked with, he worked with about every major, magician, illusionist in the business. And Paul, sadly, has since passed, but always a great guy and very fond memories. And I even wrote the foreword to his book, Evillusions, and I'm featured in his other book, Haunted Illusions, about spooky, creepy magic and illusions and things like that. So he was packaging those shows, and I was the show manager for those shows, as well as the magician, the illusionist in there. So I would manage that and several other shows, as well as run my own show. And we were in this park, and I was renting an apartment. My girlfriend and I, and then two other female friends that worked with us in the shows. We had all come in from out of town, and we were all working at the park together. And this apartment we had was this great loft apartment and everything. And we had brought the coffin out from Chicago with us that we used in the show, and that winds up in the living room. And we had an in-ground pool and everything there, so we had some parties and things like that. And the coffin was quite a topic of conversation. And actually, the cast was having great fun with it. We were all sleeping in it, and we took turns sleeping in the coffin. So, and it was kind of a novelty, and it was fun. And I slept in it many times, open and closed, and because of some of those parties we had there and the talk about what was going on and everything, and then me being me, there was one of the young ladies that worked at the park. Her parents were not keen on her hanging out with these ne'er-do-well show business types. So she had some connections and had the local police investigating me as a cult leader. Literally, and in New York, I was investigated as being a cult leader. which to me is a badge of honor. I mean, nothing speaks more about my persona than I think being actually investigated as a cult leader. And they were asking, her and other kids at the park, the police were, it's like, does he make you stare in his eyes? Do they make you eat raw meat? Strange stuff like that. And it finally gets back around to me, and I had been pulled over and searched, and it was, I do not mess with the cops. I was fine with it, but he pulled me over for no good reason at all, and then wanted to look through my vehicle and stuff. And I had nothing to hide. I was fine with it, even though there was like no good reason for it at all. And then I found out later that they were more suspicious of me because I was actually cooperative and nice to the cops about that. And so it's like, no matter if if you were crappy with them or even if it was nice to them, it's like it was a no-win situation. They had preconceived notions of me and what I was doing because I looked different and I was, a guy in show business and a weirdo with a cough in his apartment that had parties over the summer and stuff. And my landlady who rented me the apartment, she had kind of the adjoining house, and I previously when I'd gone out, I'd rented just rooms from her. And now since I had roommates, we got the whole apartment, which is where we kept the coffin and some other strange props and things from the show that I'd brought out from Chicago. So eventually my landlady fills me in on this, and she gives me the cop's card because he'd been there to talk to her about me. And she told him that, and she was very cool. She's all New Age, and she was into Reiki and energy healing and things like that. So she got me. She understood, what that was like to be looked at as kind of strange because of what she was into. So she empathized, and she gave me the cop's card, and we called them, and she said, just call them and they'll see you're fine, and, bring them out. So I said, no problem. So I called them. They came out to the apartment. My girlfriend and I were there. We invite them up into the apartment, in this awesome loft apartment and everything. And, and the coffin's there. And so we're talking, and he's asking me about this and that and, the kids at the park and stuff. And, and I explained that, look, we're just, show business types, and, people will see what they see. And we have unusual looks, and we have an unusual life because, we are, in this, strange, part of show business. And I explained to him that my show is very different outside of the theme park and everything. And he got that, and he was fine. And we had him about, talk down, and, and then he wants to talk about the coffin and everything. And he was like, he thought, as just a novelty, as a conversation piece, as a coffee table or a coffin table, if you will, as just sitting there, he's fine with it. What wigged him out was when we actually mentioned, and in just offhand, just jokingly, that we'd been sleeping in it, that the cast, took turns sleeping in it because that was part of that fun and part of what this girl's mother was so disturbed about. And he was very taken back by that. He could not imagine being in a coffin, lid open or closed, and sleeping in the damn thing. That was just something in his head and his paradigm that did not compute to him. It was too creepy. It was too weird. And it's like, well, it's a good thing I didn't tell him what else we were doing in the box.
Yeah. What else were you doing? Never mind. We don't know. We already know what you were doing.
Well, you know what I'm alluding to, and we were naughty and we're experimenting, and the coffin's there, and we took advantage of our environment. So,
hey, James, are you still out there?
Yeah, I'm here. This is crazy. I love it.
Do you know what you should do? Is save your pennies up, go to Costco and buy a coffin, and then invite your girlfriend over.
I think I will get the double wide.
You'd have to get the extra large.
With the big door and plenty of room.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
There you go. Exactly. Yeah. You might want
I just thought of something.
You might want to do a soft exposure to that.
Yeah.
Well, I got a funny feeling it could be very soft.